All right, bro, you good to go? So we get this thing started.
I certainly am.
All right, my friend. Hey, everybody. So I wanted to start promptly at 2 as promised. So you're here with you is Ilan and Guy Ferdman of SatoriPrime. For those of you who are joining us again, I know some of you joined us last week. Welcome back. Bro, you want to say hi?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Is my screen, you see the keynote presentation?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, guys, so just in the meantime, we're going to give it another minute or two just to let some people in. We had hundreds of you register, so I'm sure different people are, some of them always text us and they're like, what's this Google Hangout? How do we do this? So we'll give some people some time just to get oriented.
Yeah, I see people flooding in as you're speaking right now also.
In the meantime, you can drop in. Just let us know where you're, where in the world you're from, your name, just so we get to know a few of you.
Okay.
And then this will be the box you can use throughout the entire presentation to drop in your questions or anything else that is not clear for you. We will monitor every single one of them. And what I did last time for any questions that we didn't even get a chance to get to, I actually made a separate video and answered every single one of them. So we will make sure to answer literally every one of your questions. Obviously, through the last 2 weeks, as we've been releasing the videos and as we've been sharing some of the training with you, we've had tons of people private message us on SatoriPrime and write us emails, and we've gotten a bunch of people contact support and asking us all sorts of questions. So I've actually compiled, it's interesting, you know, and Guy and I were talking that most of the questions all lie in the same place. You know, we've gotten hundreds of questions, but I've honestly boiled them down to, I think, about 7 questions, to be honest with you, because most of your questions are you guys are all struggling with very similar things, which is completely understandable. I mean, it's what we struggled with, and it's what I still think, you know, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people trying to use Facebook every day for marketing are struggling with. So we're going to answer the core questions, but again, if you have any additional questions as we go through it, we will definitely try to answer those.
Can you just show them where to drop in questions? I saw a few people asking, but just so they're clear. Just share it on your screen. Oh, you don't have it up on your screen, do you?
I don't. You want me to stop screen share so you can show them?
No, you know, just explain, just down below, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I'm actually not seeing their page. There's a box right below the video, right?
Yeah, right on the bottom right over there, there's a video. You guys can pop in your questions. Also, let us know if you can hear us well. I'm assuming you can, but always good to check. And then we're going to give it about another minute and a half, and we'll start the content here and let you guys know what this is all about. Still see a lot of people flooding in, so.
Okay. Yeah, we had a pretty huge, I don't want to say backlash, but people were, especially people from UK and Australia, were pretty upset that they, you know, I think for them when we did it last time, it was like the middle of the morning, maybe like 4 a.m. or something. Mm-hmm. And people in the UK, I think for them, we started at maybe 1 a.m. at the time. So there's a lot of people that were just begging us to do one kind of, you know, our midday, their, you know, evening or whatnot. So we kind of caved in, I guess. All right, I see people from all over the place. A bunch of people from the U.S., a bunch of people from Ireland. We got some people from the Philippines. Happy to see that you're okay. Thoughts and prayers are obviously with everyone from the Philippines. Our dad actually works in Vietnam, and that hurricane was supposed to trounce them too, and somehow made a miraculous turn right there at the end and missed Vietnam. But, you know, Philippines obviously got hit really hard. So for all you out there, if you can support them in any way, you know, I know Red Cross is doing something, but, you know, any way that you can to help. Obviously, we've all, you know, we're here in New York, so I got hit with Hurricane Sandy, and we've had Hurricane Katrina, so we really feel your pain, and anything you guys out there can do to help and support them, I think they would obviously much appreciated. All right, bro, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually sending out a quick email.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you do the intro, and I'll be done in about 30 seconds.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to get started. Just let me know that you see my screen.
Yep, I see you perfectly well.
Yeah, I just made it full screen. You're still with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so guys, we'll do a very quick intro. There's a lot of content and a lot of questions that we want to get through, so we're going to try to just fly through this. I'm sure there's some of you that know us really well, and others, this might be your first time ever meeting us. So just a quick introduction to who we are. My name's Ilan. I'm the guy on the left getting my head shot off in this particular picture. Guys there on the right. We're brothers. We started our business, SatoriPrime, right around 2.5 years ago. So June 22nd, 2011 is when SatoriPrime was created. I had come back. I actually owned a private commercial real estate bank, which I don't think I need to go into the story of what happened worldwide and specifically in our country with the real estate market. But in 2010, I had to shut down the door to a $100 million plus bank, which was really, really sad. And, you know, as they say, the best things and the worst things at the moment end up being the biggest blessings in your life. Well, it's something I live and breathe. And I was just telling Guy like 2 weeks ago how I can't imagine. I was actually going to go into like the medical device sales field, and I was just sitting there with my son, giving him a bath at night, and just thinking to myself, holy crap, if I'd actually ended up in that field, how miserable would I be today, and like how blessed and alive and passionate I feel about what we're doing. So you'll hear a lot about that. But I just want to give you guys an idea about the intentions and outcomes of today. So our main intention is that you will fully understand the Facebook Niche Profits formula strategy. That's the main point here. The second is we're going to handle once and for all your biggest struggles with Facebook marketing. And this, again, I took probably about 100 questions and comments and boiled them down to what I think are probably, I don't know how many questions I put in here, but maybe let's say like 8 or 9 of them that are really the core ones. We're also going to share with you, before we go into those questions, the 7 biggest mistakes beginners and advanced marketers continue to make that absolutely stops them dead in their tracks from having explosive results. I actually had this as 5, but as Guy and I were going through it, we came up with 7, so we're going to share those with you. Then we're going to obviously answer your live Q&A as long as we have time, and most importantly for Guy and I is always to have fun. If you're not in this business having fun, I can guarantee you that it's going to be a very hard-fought, arduous journey for you. If you bring a little fun and play to anything, especially business, I guarantee you your results will be through the roof. And it's so funny. I have a 2-year-old, a little older than 2, and I have a 8-month-old, a boy and a girl. And I got to tell you, we definitely lose something as we become adults because these kids are just so excited about everything. You know, like every little thing to them comes with excitement and wonder. And I don't know at what point we lose that, but I find, and I think I would agree, that the more we bring that to our business and our lives in general, the greater and greater results we have, right?
Absolutely. Enthusiasm is key.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both he and I were actually at a Tony Robbins event this past weekend. It's the first time we ever saw him live, and well, we'll share a few things with you. But it was definitely a pretty interesting experience, and we've been doing this kind of personal development work now for, I think, 12 years, Guy.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was just interesting to see a different cut at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to give you guys a little bit of background about us and what we've accomplished, so you guys, understand why it is that you're even listening to us, and where our experience comes from. And I want to make a distinction before we go into this. And you guys look at your own life. If I said I am knowledgeable in something or I have information about something, could you see how different that is from having an experience of something? Like, you could read 100 books about how to build a business, but you know what? Until you go out and actually build that business, you don't know that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's information that you have, but it's just like, let's break it down to an even simpler example. If you read 100 books about riding a bicycle, do you think that you can get on a bicycle and ride it? Absolutely not. Finding balance is something that you have to experience. No amount of books is going to make you an expert at it. And that is true for anything in this world. So I want you to understand where our experience comes from, not just our knowledge. Okay?
Yeah.
And bro, anytime you want to jump in, just tell me to shut up.
So far, so good. Keep going.
Okay. So real quick, back in the day, when we started doing Facebook marketing, we were one of the first people on the Facebook marketing platform. It was very, very young. Very few people actually knew what the hell it was. And this was back in a time where the only marketing option you had was to put ads on the right-hand side. I remember a guy and I bought this program for some guy who's just been like blacklisted by every single person because he was just a whatever. We're not going to say the word of what he was, but he was not a good person. And that's how we kind of started learning. And we went out there and just like probably everyone on this hangout with us just messed up time and time again. Spent money, lost money, couldn't figure out how to do things. It was just very, very frustrating. And we started talking to more people, but it was so young that no one really knew what the hell they were doing. So we would try things and test things and all that kind of stuff. And eventually we found this thing. And the reason I have this picture of this kid holding fire is because we were trying to do something very different. And Facebook went through this clean-out phase where they weren't letting any ads be approved that had anything to do, and one of your questions, we'll talk about this later, anything to do with make money from home, home business op, anything like that.
Bro, can you hear me?
So, say it again?
I'm still seeing the original slide on your page. I'm not seeing...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I don't know if you're sharing your full desktop or not, but do the full desktop share if you can.
Okay.
There we go. Now I see it.
Oh, now you see it?
Yep.
Well, let me see. If I go like full screen, do you still see it?
I got the guy sharing with the fire right now.
Okay. All right. Well, if I get stuck on anything, just let me know.
Okay.
So we created this redirect code for something entirely different. And one day we were sitting there talking. We're like, holy crap, what if we did this with Facebook? And I just want to say, because this is something we're going to talk about later, Facebook, just like anything else, has rules and regulations. Okay? Now, if you were to play basketball, for example, okay, there's a set of rules and regulations to playing basketball, right? Like, I don't care how many times you try to shoot the ball in your opponent's hoop, you're not getting a freaking point. You get that? You could do it over and over and over, but the rules are you have to shoot the ball into your basket to get a point. Now, for a lot of you, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and getting mad at Facebook. Facebook changes their rules and guidelines all the time, guys. All the freaking time. Now, because Guy and I have mastered it experientially, we're constantly moving and shaking inside of their guidelines to make it work for us. And I think the biggest mistake, or one of the biggest mistakes that we'll talk about, is people get stuck because they just have information, they don't have an experience, and they keep doing the same thing that they know to do instead of dancing with Facebook. So we figured out early on that Facebook wants to keep traffic inside of Facebook, right? Because that makes them more money.
And I will say, by the way, just to jump in here, that a lot of that, guys, is really not your fault. I mean, I can't even imagine how many Facebook educations, but Ilan and I spend probably about $4,000 to $5,000 a month just looking at what other people are doing. Doesn't mean we always do what they're doing, but we're always just curious. Are people innovating? What are people doing? A lot of it is Facebook training. And I will tell you that 99.9% of what we look at is just training on either how to create an ad, how to get your CTRs really high, and you're probably sitting there going, yeah, I want to know how to do those things. And the third part is how to grow a large fan page. Now, what everybody is omitting, at least what we noticed and why this product was so important to us, is we wanted to give you an experience, a vehicle to put yourself inside of that could predictably get you results with marketing on Facebook. And it had something to do with those things, but it more than anything showed you how to leverage the traffic that was coming to your page. So people have been growing these massive fan pages, then they go, okay, now what? And they don't know how to siphon that traffic to offers and predictably make sales. And what we have here in this methodology is exactly that. It shows you exactly how to do that.
Yeah, really good point. So real quick, so we find this redirect code, we figure out how to run traffic in through Facebook, and voila, like wildfire, 99.7% of every ad that we wanted to get approved, we got approved. Now we started sharing this with some of our network of friends, and they were like, "Holy crap! Well, can we hire you?" And next thing you know, we had. And Guy, tell me if the slide changed.
Still got the fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? Let me do a desktop share because I think I'm doing
that's what I was
share.
recommending. Yep. Now it changed. I think we're just a little behind.
Yeah, because I pulled out of the. I'll just stop real quick.
Hey there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I got your desktop. Go for it.
Yeah. So now you see the picture with all the people?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So a lot of these people ended up reaching out to us and were begging us basically to help them run their Facebook marketing. And that's kind of how we got our huge start. I mean, we were charging like $15 a lead for a Facebook lead just because people couldn't get their ads approved. And it was really great. And we never shared the secret of how we were able to do it. We just charged, boatloads of money. And then eventually we got to a place where we had to make a choice. And the choice was either to keep this to ourselves and, hoard it all, be greedy, or share with others. And I will tell you, as an expert in anything, that will ultimately be your choice. Your choice is going to be, do I hoard this and keep it to myself, or do I share this with others? And you could take this for whatever you want. I'm just going to tell you our belief. The universe is an abundant place. If you come from the fact or the the mindset that mine, I'm going to keep this for me, I'm going to keep this for me, I guarantee you will not have that for a long time. Because everything in this world is a flow. It comes in one place, it always needs to travel. That's the way energy moves. If you're the one hoarding the energy, the universe, God, whatever the heck you want to call it, will stop sending you that energy because you are not playing by the quote-unquote laws of the universe. And so we were like, screw this, we're going to share this and let other people do whatever they want with this. And out of that came our first product. Our first product was actually right there that I highlighted. Bro, are you seeing the slides change on your end?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay, cool. We created the Facebook marketing wheel strategy. And this is before we knew how the hell to create products, so it literally was like a webinar that we recorded. It was 67 minutes long, and we sold it for $37. And keep in mind, we sold for $37 the thing that we were charging $15 per lead to tell people how to do.
Crazy to think about today, by the way.
We just didn't know, we
didn't know the value of what we didn't know the value of what we really had.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we met people afterwards that were like, oh my God, that product, I made $175,000 in 3 months using your product, and we're like, what?
We're like, we haven't made that much money.
Yeah, so it was really cool, but that's how. So, and just a quick funny story about how we got that Facebook marketing product released is Mark Hoverson. For those of you guys who don't know, he's been in the industry for a long time. Had kind of like a online Shark Tank, and I went out there against 11 other pitches, and the people voted to have the Facebook wheel strategy be the thing that he promotes, and that's how we kind of got our first product, quote unquote, launched. It was really cool. But some other results that we were able to produce using this strategy is we actually placed 14th on Jonathan Budd's futuristic marketing launch last year, which was, God, do you remember how many affiliates?
It was over 10,000 for sure.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 15,000 affiliates or something crazy like that. We placed 14th, guys. Here's the funny part.
Actually got to go on stage at the what's his event called? The Unstoppable Entrepreneur event. They recognize all the top people, and we got to hang out with all of them in San Diego. It was really, really cool. Yeah,
we actually got invited to his house with the top 20 guys to do a mastermind for 2 days at Jonathan Budd's house, which was awesome. We got to meet some amazing people. But here's the crazy part. I want to just show you this ad. So the ad, don't be afraid of this. And then we had some copy, and CTR was pretty good, 0.487. We have some much higher ones today with some new strategies. We were spending, if you see it spent $3.20. And as soon as that offer actually launched, our Facebook account got shut down. So the 14th place result was all done with having spent $3.20 total. However, the work that the Facebook wheel allowed us to do because of the multiple pages that we were running and how we position and engage with people on certain pages, the amount of organic leads and sales we were able to generate, not just from advertising, but organically, is what actually had us be in 14th place. And that's really when we first understood the power of Facebook marketing. Because before that, just like everyone else, we were focused on marketing. But when we lost our account, we were like, holy shit, we got to figure out how to make this work.
Yep.
Before we got it back on Facebook. And, we placed 14th. So clearly what we were doing was producing killer results. Now, after we shared with people what we had done and the results that we produced, more people started asking us to come be on their stages. We got awards. We started doing live trainings. We just, been sought after. We just came back from London, where we did a full 2-day, like nonstop. I think it was like 9-10 hours a day of training, and that's what we've been up to personally. So that's kind of been our journey in a very, very short, abbreviated story.
It makes it sound like it was really, really easy, by the way.
Did I make it sound very easy?
When you say it that way, it makes it sound like the journey was easy. Guys, the honest truth is, I would say that what everyone's after is, everyone talks about making money really quickly, but I think the key to all this is just increasing your quality of life. So you got to look at what that is for you, and everyone's journey is different. The funniest questions we get asked, or not funniest, but the ones that I know are people setting themselves up for success, is how fast can I do this, and how much money did you make? And the honest truth is, after being in this industry for 3 years, is everyone's different. And it's, for some people, it's going to be a huge struggle, and some people are going to come in and just crush it right away. And it really has nothing to do more than their mindset, their drive. A lot of people just give up way before they get there, or they give up right before they're about to get the results. So we were just really, really driven because of our circumstances, and we're forced to create things. So just a little tidbit about what it takes. It's definitely not easy. Once you do it, it seems very simple. But the path to get there is definitely not an easy one.
Well, what I did leave out is that got kicked out of his place and moved back with my parents. My house got foreclosed on. We were about to be evicted. I had IRS come after me for tens of thousands of dollars from my previous, bank job. I mean, life was
difficult.
An unending, unwavering uppercut after uppercut. And every time we thought we made progress, it was like someone was there to just cut us at the knees. And here's the beauty. Yeah. I can stand here and the reason I don't share that stuff is because for me, it actually occurs like it happened to somebody else. Because through the whole process, we were an unwavering stand. Guys, one of our mentors said one of the greatest lines. He said, the only difference between you and I and why I'm successful and you're not is because I'm willing to stand in no results longer than you are. And when you are there, willing, with all the punches coming at you, stand there and be like, I don't care, you can throw whatever you want at me, I will make this happen. When that is your attitude, I want to work with you. When you've gotten to that place in your life and there's nowhere to go back to, you're the person I want to work with.
Yeah, but by the way, a really good point is, and I see this time and time again, guys, one of the reasons that we even come out with these kind of programs is because we want to be mentors to people who are hungry. And we use these programs as filtering processes to find people that we want to work with and show them exactly what we're doing. And time again, when I hear people's success story, how it usually starts getting to the point where they were climbing, it was like really, really hard, and then suddenly they had, boom, a breakthrough and the results. It's because they had that realization, I need a mentor. I need to find somebody who's done it already. One of the things you need to learn, and I would say a test about life in general, is that if you want to get to where you want to get to, find people who have already gone there, been doing it, and are getting consistent results. Not just like it was a one-time breakthrough, like they made 10 grand one day, but they don't know how to make money anymore online. Somebody who's been doing it over a period of time can show you, because there's a model for success. There really, really is. And for those of you that read books and all those things and get inspired, there's no substitute for a mentor. Absolutely not. And we went and sought the best mentors in the industry.
Yeah, we've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for our education. Hundreds. I'm not talking college. I'm talking online marketing. Between masterminds, courses, etc., we are literally a sponge. And if we see someone doing it better, you bet your ass we're paying them money to be a part of their inner circle.
Okay.
All right. So just real quick, this is just, I want to just show these screenshots to you, but these are just some of the results we were creating with the Facebook Niche Profits formula. This is in one area of our business. What we realized is we have our own products, obviously, and we have our own business, and we were using this strategy originally with that model. Because at the end of the day, we were trying to find strategies on Facebook that really grew our business, like took it to the next level. We're always looking to obviously grow and expand. But when we were starting to put this together and go, okay, well, we need to bring this to the masses, what we realized is the masses don't have their own products. The masses don't necessarily know what to do. So where do the masses go? And they go to affiliate marketing. And the easiest place to find things to affiliate market is on ClickBank. And so we actually created a bunch of different ClickBank accounts and started going after different niches. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to play like what we thought the general public or the majority of the general public would do and can create results the fastest. And so, I mean, these are daily, you see some weekly, but you're talking like hundreds of dollars a day in some cases. If you made $1,000 a week additional income from working 10 minutes a day, would that absolutely alter your life? $1,000 a week, guys. For most people, that's more than probably you're making in your real job. And you're talking $50,000 a year doing that. And this is just one side of our business, right? Now, here's what we were doing when we were using this on one of our products in our actual business. So this is actual SatoriPrime product. And we did $120,000, just under $120,000 in about 7 months' time.
Without a launch model. That was just straight Facebook marketing, send them to a funnel, make sales.
And I want to point out to you, and we'll show you how we did this, but I want to point out to you that a lot of what I'm showing you right now is done organically. Guy's going to actually show you a thing that we did today and generated, Guy, what would we do, 37 leads?
I haven't checked, but yeah, probably closer to 40 at this point in time.
40 leads off of one video. We're going to show you how we did that. So, all right, without further ado, Guy, are there any questions about anything? Because at this point, I think we should make a move into the 7 biggest mistakes and then go into the questions.
You know what? Go there and we'll do Q&A in one lump sum unless I absolutely see something that needs to be answered right now.
Okay, so just save them.
Okay.
So we have them somewhere, and then, like I said, if I will respond to all of them.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So here are the 7. And guys, if you don't have something to write in front of you, go run, grab something. You're gonna want to write these down because these are over the last years that we've been doing this. We've boiled these down to like the things that we see are impacting and hurting your business the most. Okay? So the first is people treating Facebook as an e-commerce store, not an engagement platform. So how many of you guys, and just say yes, how many of you guys have seen this happen, or you've done this yourself, where you try to sell directly on Facebook? You either try to sell directly, like some sort of widget, some sort of product, some sort of service, etc. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And as you guys are writing that in, I will tell you that this is one of, if not the biggest mistake that we see. There's a reason people call Facebook social media. It's a social platform. It's an engagement platform. And the reason people have websites that actually sell products and stuff is because that's where you need to be doing your selling. You can engage your customers. You don't see Coca-Cola selling Coke bottles off of their Facebook site. You don't see car companies selling their product off their site. But you bet your ass they're engaging their customer base to find out what they want to sell and what those people want to buy and what they can do in their company to provide more value for those people in their lives.
Yep. And if you've ever noticed, many of those websites, if you go on them, you'll find that there's contests going on all the time, free giveaways. They're always looking for ways to engage their audience. So we want you to start getting away from how do I use Facebook to sell, and start changing the conversation to how do I use Facebook to engage and build relationships. Because at the end of the day, it's called social media. The whole point is to socialize, right? So people aren't looking necessarily to come there while they're looking at their family pictures or discovering new things. They're not coming there with the expectation of an e-commerce platform to buy, and a lot of people make that mistake, and that's why they catch people when they're not in the buyer's mentality and find it very, very difficult to sell. So we're gonna show you how to get away from that.
Yeah, really good point. Okay, that's mistake number one. Okay, mistake number two: using your page as a pitch fest. Now, what's a pitch fest? Pitch fest is, and again, find yourself in this or see if you've seen other people do this, right? Because everything we do, guys, is modeling. We're always trying to find people that do things really well, are producing great results, and reverse engineer that model to create a formula. Notice how this is called Facebook Niche Profits Formula, because what we're trying to do is reverse engineer what really works, boil it down into a formula that anyone can come in, plug and play, and just use the formula. If it was just like, I don't know what else, how I can break this down for you, but if it was just like a, hey, do this, but you don't there's no formula or process that you need to go through, it's going to be very difficult. Right?
Yeah, just a linear way of getting to a result. Like, walk down this path, you will get this result.
Exactly. So a pitch fest is basically you'll show up to a page and then you'll like scroll down these people's posts and it'll literally be like, join my company. Have you seen my company? Can you join my company? Why aren't you joining my company? Here's more information about my company. Will you join my company? Please join my company. Why aren't you joining my company? Here's an unbelievable comp plan. Here's our unbelievable product. Have you joined yet? How many of you have seen those kind of pages and you're like, you want to kill yourself? You're literally there for like 3 seconds. You're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Because over there, guys, the whole conversation is me, 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 me. What's in it for me? This is good for me. Here's my comp plan. Oh, you're not sold in the comp plan? And one of the things that most people miss in network marketing, direct sales, I mean, even just traditional sales, is it's all about them. That ego is always there. That's why when you get on the phone, you get nervous, because it's all about you and your result. It has nothing to do with that person. And honestly, people aren't even buying the company. There are so many companies, guys out there, 1 million companies. Now, I have no problem with anybody thinking that their opportunity is the best. If you don't think it's the best, you shouldn't even be with that company, because you'll never sell anything you don't believe in. But bottom line is there's 1 million companies out there. People aren't joining the company. Who they're joining is you. If you position yourself as somebody who makes a promise, who's willing to put their reputation on the line and say, I will take you there. I will take you to the promised land. All you got to do is just come and follow me. That's what being a leader is, right? It's the ability to do what other people aren't willing to do. That's what people come and work with you for. So if you're in an opportunity, that's really what people are looking from. And if you go look at any top people in your company, I promise you, and you look at what are they doing that's different than everybody else, that's what they're doing that's different than everybody else. Now, we're not talking about a business opportunity here, but the same rules kind of apply.
100%. I mean, we learned from Jonathan Budd early on the way that he was approaching his business, and he was a huge network marketing guy. He's not so much anymore, but he was the only guy at the time that had a landing page. And the landing page was like, hey, I'm going to help you grow your company. He didn't say, hey, join my company, but he gave people tools. He gave people a formula that they could follow in any of their companies. Now, guess what happened when he did that? Companies, guys, come and go. But guess what don't come and go if you know how to position yourself correctly? Trainers, mentors, coaches. And everyone flooded to his company because they wanted to work with him.
Yep.
They can make money in any company. But they wanted to work with someone in their opportunity because they knew they were going to get really good training.
Yeah. You don't have to pull people away from their opportunity to join yours. You just have to position yourself as an authority and as a leader, help them do what they're already doing. Eventually, they'll just want to be around you, and whatever you're doing, they'll just want to be around that so they can be around you. It won't even have anything to do with the company. You can literally leave one company, go to the next, and you'll see 75% of people will come with you because they weren't even in it for the company. They were in it for you and the training and the mindset you provided and any of the results that they were getting, not just in their business, but network marketing, direct sales, all these things, having your own business, being an entrepreneur, it changes people's lives because they push themselves. So if you're there to support that transformation, they're with you forever. Again, I think we're getting a little bit off tangent, but the idea here is still very much the same. Like, what are you doing with your Facebook pages?
Yeah. And keep in mind, like, what we're sharing with you is a long-term strategy to your success. You could be really short-sighted about it and do the whole cash grab thing, but I guarantee you won't be around in 2 years. I promise you won't. Because I know every single one of those people is all about me, 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 me. They'll make as much money as quickly as they can, and they'll burn out and never be a part of this industry again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Biggest mistake number 3, we call this the shotgun approach. Basically, if you're marketing to everyone, you are marketing to no one. Now, a lot of people, and we're going to go into this demographic search as the next topic, and maybe Guy will actually let you screen share and kind of take them through some processes.
Yeah, I'll give you some training.
One of the biggest things that we see consistently is that people will go out on Facebook and just start marketing to everyone. So if they're like, they have a Facebook product, let's say, they'll just go out and market to everyone who likes internet marketing. And they're like, why am I not getting any results? Or if they want to promote their business opportunity, they'll just go after something like home business. I'm like, why am I not getting results? It's because that person is not interested in anything. And they're just like such a broad, general topic.
Yeah. We had a question on this. I mean, if any of you guys do search engine optimization, it's kind of the same thing. You have to really get into the emotional mindset of people and where they're at. So, if you've done any Facebook marketing, in the back there's precise interests, and then you also have like hashtag interests. So a lot of people will go after the hashtag, but think of it just like broad searches on Google or Bing or any of the search engines. When it's broad, it just somebody might have typed in something about internet marketing, and now Facebook is tagging them and you're marketing to them. Just because somebody mentioned internet marketing, it doesn't mean anything about their mentality in terms of buying. So we'll get into topics of how to really market your business or your opportunity or things like that, and where are the good places to really market? What are the mindsets and emotional states you want to catch people in? And people are just all marketing in the same place and wondering why they're not getting results because A, it's saturated, and B, that's not even where the buyers are. So we'll get into that because we have really great questions about it.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, real quick, just holy crap, my chair just almost moved. Wow, that was scary. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Wow, that was almost face planted into my keyboard.
Getting very excited over there.
I'll give you a perfect example so you guys, because I'm just looking at my laptop right now. Right? If I typed into search, right, on Google, for example, laptop, okay? Most of you, or most people, market to laptop. People interested in laptop. Now, which do you think would produce me better results? I'm not talking more leads. I'm just saying more quality specific leads. Someone searching laptop or someone searching Apple MacBook Pro 15-inch to buy. Obviously there's going to be less people searching for that, but who do you think is going to actually buy something? Person searching for laptop or person searching for Apple MacBook Pro 15-inch to buy?
Yep.
Right? And that's the huge thing that people do is you guys are just going after a laptop. And so you spend all your budget because you're trying to filter out like thousands of people instead of only going after the ones that are actually going to be interested in that thing that you're offering.
Which, by the way,
we're going to actually show examples.
Sorry, bud. So, by the way, that's a really good point because a lot of times, and I even have a question right here, and somebody said my main issue is getting a great percentage of clicks. Oh, I thought he meant he got a great percentage of clicks. So what you've been taught is go get a high CTR, you'll get a low CPC. Fine, that's true when you're going after a word like laptop and there's so many people looking at it and a bunch of people are clicking on your ad, but how many of those clicks are actually quality clicks that are turning into buyers? So what you need to start doing is create this distinction in your brain, and we're as guilty of it as anybody else. The ego always comes into play, right? It feels really good when you're getting a lot of leads. When you go to your inbox and it's like lead, you're like, yay, leads. But at the end of the day, if there's no conversion, what are you doing? Because you're still spending your hard-earned money. Fine, maybe you're getting a lesser amount on per click, but you're still at the end of the day, you're still spending more money than you're making. I would rather pay 10 times the amount per click, but have 10 times the amount of conversions. I hope that makes sense. So a lot of times you got to realize paying for the quality is way better than paying for the quantity. So again, I know it feels great when you're getting 100 leads a day, but if only one of those leads is converting at the end of the day instead of 20% of those leads are converting, I would rather get 10 leads a day and have 5 of them convert. You know? So just make that distinction. And again, it's all about ego because we want to feel like we're getting results. And you should be patting yourself on the back if you know how to do that, because very few people even know how to do 5 to 10 leads a day. You'd be shocked how few actually know. Yeah. But again, you got to get that. You got to get that shift, because that's people who are in the 95%. Then there's a 5%. Then there's that 1%. That 1% is always thinking about where are the buyers. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Next biggest mistake, number 4. People do not do any demographic research, and they don't do it because they have no idea of who their avatar is. So let's go back to the laptop example, right? And I'm going to just stop screen sharing so you can just show them through some tools that we use to actually do this.
Okay.
But if you don't have an idea of who your avatar is, and there's a process that we can take you through that actually allows you to realize who the person is that you're trying to sell to, and when you know who that is, then you can start reverse engineering. Well, where do they hang out? What do they like to read? What do they like to see? So I'll give you just a real quick example, and while I'm doing that, maybe you start setting up. Yeah. I'll just stop screen sharing. Yeah. Okay, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I think you can grab it. Okay, cool. So, for example, if you were to go after someone who wants to shop for a MacBook Pro, okay, then it's very easy to kind of start reverse engineering and think, okay, if a person likes MacBook Pro, what else do they like? And we're gonna show you right now tools of how you can figure out what websites they came off of, what they look at. It might be something that, like, Wired magazine is something that just popped up in my head. Right? Wired magazines are really like high tech. What's in the latest? Guy, what was the other one? Scientific something?
Yeah, like Success Magazine or Entrepreneur, whatever. But I want to just show a little bit about the demographic research. So for those of you who are on right now and you're taking notes, here are 2 websites that are just hypercritical to your business. And these are, and we really show how to go deep into this, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you want to write down Alexa.com. A lot of you guys probably know about Alexa, and I'm going to show you how to use it really quick, so we don't spend too much time on this, because we could do seriously 2 hours just on this. And Quantcast.com. 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 Quantcast, in my opinion, is better, but will oftentimes not give you the information you want, because the person who owns the website actually had to install their pixels on there to get that information measured. So I always recommend starting with Quantcast, but Alexa will almost nearly always give you information on the website. So just take Ilan's example of Wired.com, and hopefully they do have Quantcast on their website. The bigger sites tend to do it. So all I got to do is just copy and paste the link you're looking at. And guys, again, this is all about demographic research. It doesn't look like they have it. Let's go to Alexa, but I do want to find something that shows up on Quantcast. Let's look at maybe like Men's Health Magazine. I just want to find big things. And we're taking you through a bunch of different...
you might even be able to do like Apple.com.
Yeah, I could try them too, but let me just try these guys also. I really don't care what website. I just want to show what the analytics information looks like, to be honest.
Yeah.
No. Oh. No.
Guys, and a couple of things. When you write your questions, if you could just please let us know your name also, so after it or before, just type in your name so we know who's asking.
Perfect.
And what else I want to say? I just blanked. It'll come back to me.
Okay. All right, guys, so let's take a look. So Men's Health did have Quantcast information. And this is brilliant, okay? Like, this is brilliant. This is how you can start predicting your results way before you ever create an advertisement. Because if you don't know who you're advertising, like Ilan said, you're advertising to everybody, which means you're really advertising to no one. Advertising is a lot like a filtration process, and that's why we always make the analogy of a funnel, because what does a funnel do? It starts out really wide on top and then gets really thin towards the bottom, meaning less can get through. The whole point of a sales funnel is to funnel things out so when they come out the other end, only the buyers are there, or at least a majority of them are the buyers, right? So I hope that makes a lot of sense to you, because that's why they call it a sales funnel. All right, so let's see. Okay, they don't have, unfortunately, demographic information. So a lot of websites will, which means it'll show you how many men. Obviously here it's men's health. We can assume men. It'll show you their age groups, and I'll show you an example of this on Alexa too. Again, like I just don't want to spend too much time on this. But you can see the amount of traffic here. So if you're in a specific opportunity, let's say you're in Herbalife, go and do your demographic research on who the hell is visiting their website, because those are your buyers. So you can see here just, obviously you can see whether traffic patterns are going up or down. I would imagine Men's Health has got a ton of traffic. Looks like 4.6 million people in the US are visiting it, 8.2 globally. Those are big numbers. You can do this with your company just as easily, like I said. You can see who's coming from mobile, who's coming from the online space. So if you're doing mobile marketing, and you notice like more people are now coming to this website through mobile, chances are people are actually buying through mobile too, or it's a really good lead generation spot. So you can immediately decide, do I want to do one type of marketing, this type of marketing, or both? Hopefully a lot of them will have demographic information for you also. But here's the other really cool thing, and this is why I like Quantcast more than Alexa, is because look at this. Audiences also like Affinity, Trulia, right, which is a real estate website, Zillow, a real estate website. Would you ever in your right mind think to yourself Men's Health and the next thought is real estate website? Never, right? Never. Or travel agents, or sports and outdoors. So this will give you not just website ideas. These are people, this is what other people who are interested in Men's Health do. This is where they hang out. So if you can get on an ad network now and position ads on Travelocity, Expedia, or cheapoair.com, guess what? That's where people are interested in Men's Health. Foot Locker, Cabela's, I don't even know what that is, eastbay.com, all great places to do advertising. Or better yet, on Facebook, go find these keywords and market to them. And this is where nobody's marketing. You will literally own this space. That's you and you alone. Okay. You can see where they're coming from, and you can see where web traffic sources are as well. So you can come back here and do a ton of research on your website, and this is why Quantcast is great, because it will give you completely out-of-the-box ideas. Did you want to say something?
No, I just want to add one other thing, Guy, that when we're saying like you're seeing people that hang out and are interested in Men's Health are also looking at Foot Locker, that doesn't mean you go out and create an ad about Foot Locker.
Yeah.
But you can create an ad about Men's Health and target Foot Locker. And because you do that, you know that those people are finding Men's Health magazines through the Foot Locker website. They will literally, like, you can make a mention of it, and maybe come up with something creative. If you can't, it doesn't matter. But you know that that is now the demographic that is very interested in that stuff. And this is how you just absolutely dominate your niche, by finding these little pockets that no one thinks to do, because everyone's out there marketing to Men's Health. That's what they're probably thinking, like, well, I want Men's Health, let me market to Men's Health.
Exactly. And then I just clicked on see more under those audiences. Yeah, and I just clicked on see more under what those audiences like, and you can literally see by like ratios what they're actually interested in. So I mean, the first two make perfect sense, right? People who like health news and info are going to like Men's Health magazine. People who like diet and fitness are going to like Men's Health magazine. But then start going down these different things. Now they're giving you niches. They're not necessarily giving you like the place to go look at it. But it's still going to give you ideas like, fashion and cosmetic websites. Like maybe there's men in fashion and cosmetic websites. I don't know, but that's a good place to market Men's Health magazine. Schools and universities, right? Like young guys are interested in like being healthy, looking good, because that's like that state you're in when you're in your early 20s. Baby websites, maybe like a dad who's like, damn, I got a kid now, I'm old and wants to get back in shape. You know what I mean? So these are all different things where you can start coming to get ideas. That doesn't mean it's going to work immediately, no. But anyway, this is what's called masterminding. This is what means thinking outside the box. Everything in marketing, guys, I don't care who's telling it to you, take it with a grain of salt. Just because they're doing it effectively doesn't mean that you can always replicate the results. Marketing is testing and tweaking. 95, 97% of people just literally throw shit at the wall and pray. They don't even hope. They pray that it sticks. And that's why you see such a big failure ratio in this industry, because nobody teaches them, like, dig a little bit, think a little bit, put the end in mind. We're going to talk about that a lot. Like, have the end in mind when you're doing your marketing. Now let's look at Alexa. Same thing, right? This is all demographic information. So here you can see, obviously, so when it's green going to the right, that means it's dominant over there. Ironically, you know, you would think it'd be more male dominated, not so much. You can see what educational level people are at that are interested in this website, where they're browsing from. So if you see this, and most people are not hitting this website when they're at work, you know, chances are is that 9 to 5 is not the best time to advertise on the website. Now, granted, Facebook doesn't let you do different times of the day, but you can turn your marketing off and on if you wish. And other websites you're on, maybe, and you're doing marketing, you might test like only market, you know, when people come home after they have dinner, or you know, early in the morning when these guys are waking up. But you might see completely different conversions because you're doing that. Secondly, here you can actually see the countries that people are visiting this website from. Obviously, men's health, I would expect it to be dominant in the United States, but this is the completely out of sorts for me. Like, I would never guess India. What the, you know, like, I don't think of India, and the first thing that pops into my mind is health and fitness, you know? So that's very unusual that it's threefold over a country like United Kingdom, because mostly we're taught advertise U.S., United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. You don't, like, Australia is way down on this list in terms of who's actually, you know, visiting this website. So you might want to do a complete campaign in India and just see if people over there, maybe just suddenly there's a shift in consciousness and everyone's really interested in health, and now you're catching that wave. Because in the United States, again, it's a totally saturated market. If you could find these little pockets, you're crushing it. That's where you make your money, right? But obviously you only want to advertise to English-speaking people, because that's where you're doing. And here's the last part is it's showing you what keywords are getting people to this traffic. So this is, again, really interesting. Like, this is something I would not expect. Like, obviously you expect when people search men's health to come there. This is also interesting because very few of their marketing is actually coming from organic search terms, which probably means men's health does a ton of paid marketing online. Otherwise, these percentages would be considerably higher. But look at this general keyword, men, right? Like men, that's like one of the main ones. But this one is really interesting. How to last longer in bed. I would never, ever think of that, right? So now I'm going to go do some research on what websites come up and what keywords can I find that have to do with men lasting longer in bed. And if I'm trying to sell health and fitness products, guess who I'm marketing to? And I promise you, no one's marketing over there. You will own it. Okay? So you guys starting to see the power of understanding all this stuff? It will literally change your marketing just by following this quick little thing I showed you. This will make all the difference. And the more you scroll through here, the more you'll find things. It's just, there's great information on here. You just have to think about how to use it properly, okay? So I'm going to shut that down.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if you can get away with using that as a headline, how to last longer in bed on Facebook. Maybe. But that would be a damn good headline.
Yeah. Or for emailing or anything, right? You can completely change your marketing tactics by doing that. All right, so let's continue down this rabbit hole with you.
Okay. Let me share my screen again. I might have you just.
And guys, was that helpful?
We'll go back and forth.
Was that helpful for you guys? Did you guys learn something from that? Because that is really, that is what top marketers do. We don't just put up campaigns. We literally sit there and think about the entire process from start to finish.
That's a really good point the guy just made. If you spend more time doing research on who you're going to market to than actually putting together the actual marketing and ads, I guarantee you'll be successful. Most people just go in the back of Facebook and go, let me see, how about this, you, and you. Oh, I put up an ad, yay. And then they complain that they didn't get results. We probably spend 80% of our time doing the research and only 20% of our time actually putting it together.
Yeah. But we know, we know kind of going in.
This is a really important one.
Sorry, I know we're doing a little overlap here. I think we're just.
Say it again?
I think we're just on a slight delay, me and you. Yeah, you just said something and it kind of sparked an idea, and then it disappeared just as quickly when I saw that we were talking over each other.
All right, page. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, page not set up for discovery marketing. Now, the most powerful, and put yourself in a buyer's shoes for a minute. The most powerful form of marketing is when you discover something on your own. In other words, when you don't feel like you've been marketed to, but you come across something and you're like, wow, that's really cool. Isn't that where you mostly do your purchases? Like you'll be surfing online on a men's health website, and all of a sudden you see this like cool article about, I don't know, some amazing new skis or something like that, and you happen to be a skier, okay? Chances are you're going to read that article and be like, oh my god, that's really cool, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to start shopping for those skis. Or if you're a tennis player or a golf player, you'll find something like they invented some crazy-ass driver, and you just have to have it. But no one put an ad in front of you. No one did anything. It was just kind of like this organic, generic thing. Now, I want you to know that all of that stuff is done on purpose. Even though you think it's organic, it's not. But because you discovered it in a very organic, kind of on your own way, you're going to be much more likely to buy it.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe there's like some human psychology. If you're being told what to do, you're like, F you. But if you find out, oh my god, I found it, I'm going to be the first of my friends to own it. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So, guy, I don't know if you want to show them just like a couple examples of how we do this.
Yeah. All right. So let me share my screen again.
Okay.
And then so guys, in the training
as well, right? We're already here.
Yeah. Look, obviously you guys are clear. I mean, I don't think we're trying to hide it. There's a training program that's going to be available to you, and we'll talk about that here. But I talk about this page a lot now in the training. I mean, this is the example we use, and I use it for a reason because A, it's been massively successful. B, what's really interesting is that what Ilan and I spent more time building this product, like we were talking about how much time to do one thing, for such a long period of time. We used to create products in 30 to 60 days. So when the original idea for this product came out, we started getting results with this formula that we're teaching you guys. We were sure we'd have this product ready by the summer. And we spent the last 7 months literally doing one thing, which was working on this product, because Facebook has gone through crazy changes over the last 7 months, and we constantly kept having to evolve, but the strategy was evolving too, and we were getting better results. So the interesting part for me is now when I go back and watch some of the training videos, my first training video, this page had 84,000 likes. We're about 200,000 right now. But here's what I want to show you, the power of this, and when you start doing things the right way. So I put up a video you guys can see 6 hours ago. This is a live view. You're free to come to this page. Check out that I'm not screwing with you. 5 hours ago, okay? 664 shares. 737 likes. How many comments are on here? 78 comments. 90,000 people, 90 freaking thousand people have seen this video since this morning. Now here's what I want to show you. So if you're on your pages, you always have these little things. Look at the organic reach, look at the paid reach. 98% of that traffic, purely organic. 2% we paid for. Does that sound like something that you want to learn how to do? Now here's the point. Most people are like, I don't know how to get an app. Say again?
No, I was just laughing.
But most people want to say, like, here's the
If it's something people want to learn to do, yeah.
Yeah. Here's what most people have problems with online: getting ads approved, getting high click-through rates, right, and then sending the right traffic to wherever they want to send it to. I have 200,000 people on this page who've raised their hand and say, I'm interested in fitness. Okay. We have a very specific way that honestly it just takes too much time to get into over here, and if you really want to discover this stuff, that's why you come work with us, and that's what you're going to have an opportunity to do at the end of this. But here's the point. Clearly this is viral content. I could go down this page and show you result after result like this. 952 shares, 637 shares, 862 shares. Let's keep going. 255 shares, 676 shares, 264. I mean, video after video, thing after thing going viral. All of these, obviously we paid to grow this page. It didn't just like grow out of the blue, right? It didn't, like, you need to water stuff to watch it grow. It doesn't just happen on its own. But clearly we've discovered something, right? But here's the point. I didn't have to get an ad approved to do this. You guys see how much organic traffic is there, and I'm going to show you the traffic right now. But all we did was put in one offer that we're testing right now. We're just started testing new offers on here, but I'm going to show you the results. And people are discovering this on their own. So here's a guy, they click on it, they watch this fun video, they're all amped up, and then what do they see over here? 3 simple secrets to dropping ugly fat fast, revealing your ripped body in record time. This guy is ripped in this video. Do you think I caught that person in the right emotional state to click on this link right here? and they click on this link. They go to a landing page. And again, there's all these strategies about how to position your links properly and have congruency and all these different things. But here's the landing page they go to. So here's the back office of this, okay? I'll go in again. So the offer we're looking at is this one right here, this 360 LP. And I'm just going to go to today only till today. That video right now, right? You guys see the 12th? That video right now has done 336 clicks. 44 opt-ins. Now, granted, my opt-in rate is not amazing because, again, we're looking at discovery marketing. People are coming here by choice, not because they're being marketed to, so you're never going to get a crazy opt-in rate. But tell me, when's the last time you sent 336 clicks anywhere and 98% of them were organic within 6 hours? You're talking 50 to 60 clicks per hour without paying for it with 44 leads. So we were talking about how to generate, 5, 10 leads a day. Talk about 50 to 100 leads per day that you're not even paying for, that are just being thrown into your funnel. Now, do you think if you did that to any opportunity, any affiliate program, any home business opportunity, any small business, whether online or offline, do you think you can make money? And if you didn't say yes, then you don't understand marketing. Okay? So this is the power of what we've done here. Yeah, no, him and I are on delay. So this is the power of what we've done here is we're building niche-specific demographics, and we're allowing those people to basically kind of wave that flag for us. We have, what's that word I'm looking for? When somebody goes and talks on your behalf?
Word of mouth.
Yeah, it's like word of mouth, but I was thinking a little bit more. You basically create fanatics, just like with Apple, right? People who love Apple always freaking talking about Apple products, and that sells more Apple products. So that's what we went to go do. We're like, how are these companies doing that? Why are people standing online when they could buy it online? Why is there this fanaticism? So realize when you have your page, what you're creating is fanaticism. You're creating yourself as an authority. And actually, Ilan, I want to go back to the health page because this is such a good example. So we created a healthy cooking page, which we barely even use anymore. People come here all the time. You guys can see the last time we posted here was August 6th. Okay, we just our efforts and our mind has been elsewhere. But here's the shtick. People, and bro, I remember last time you did this, and then I went down a few, and I saw another one, and I was like, wow, look who's posting here. So you guys always say well, how do I approach people? How do I approach people? How do I get them to buy stuff from me? How do I start a conversation? You won't have to when you do this, because when you have a large page on Facebook, what people assume is authority. And if there's anything you need to understand about the sales process is, first impressions freaking matter. Not just a little bit, a lot a bit, right? A lot a bit. So I want to show you guys this. November 4th, we don't even run this page anymore. These people are seeking us out. Devin Alexander. Hi, I'm the chef on NBC's The Biggest Loser. I'm running a Lose Before You Gain holiday challenge here on Facebook that I thought your audience would be interested in. There's a great grand prize, kitchen and fitness makeover worth almost $5,000 and tons of daily prizes from blah, 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 blah. Love your site and would be honored if you would share info so your fans could win too. If your mind wasn't just blown, these are the kind of people who are coming to us, asking us for help. Okay? There was one down here that just blew my mind. People constantly asking us to promote their page, asking us to work with them. Oh, what was this one? It was so good. My God, I was like, wow. Oh, here we go. Another one. This is the host of a radio show called Fight for Your Freedom. I was wondering if you would like to do a show with me on healthy cooking. We'll love to have you on as a guest. Let me know. Guys, the opportunities just come to you. So as long as you create these pages, again, people assume, look how many freaking messages we get back here. People just assume you have authority because they're like, wow, look at that page authority. I'm going to tell you guys right now, and should I even show this, bro, with how we grew our page? Do you want to get into that?
No, because we still have a couple of these biggest things, and we have all the questions. So I'm sure it's going to somehow come up in something else.
All right, I just want to just say it in passing then, and if we have time, we'll show the example. So guys, our page is 115,000 plus people big, right? We made hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook when our page was 6,000 or less. When this idea first popped into our head, it started with this simple idea. How quick could we get our page to 100,000 people? Because you guys know as well as I do, in the internet marketing and home business space, the amount of people on your page is equal to social proof, right? There's evidence of power. So we're like, you know what could we do that? And we ran a test from April 19th, and I could definitely show it to you. I don't know if we'll have time. We did it on the last webinar. Within an under 60-day period, we threw 94,000 people on our page and literally stopped it at 100,000 just to see if we could. We could teach you how to do that. So if what you need to create is authority, fantastic. You don't always want to do that because a lot of times you want that traffic to be very demographic specific. But if what you need is social proof, we threw on 60,000 people there in the first month alone. Madness. These are all formulas that you can use. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so let me share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that just gives you an idea of discovery marketing, right? Someone sees a great video that they got all jazzed up about, and then the link that they click on, which they're going to click on their own because they're like, oh, cool, it's here. Let me see what it is. And in 6 hours, 44 people opted in to find out more information about that thing. 44, guys. We had I don't know what it was, like 600 and something shares.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you have ever had anything shared 600 times on Facebook? How many of you have ever had anything shared 20 times on Facebook? Right? That's the power of having a formula and a model that actually works. Okay? And we show you how to find that, how to find these viral things, how to position them, how to package them with certain offers. All of that stuff is what we show you in the FB Niche Profits formula. All right, this is biggest mistake we see, number 6, which is people pretending to be someone that you are not. One of the biggest things that we can hopefully impart on you all here today is to be yourself. Now, I know that's something you hear and it's really cliche, but people join people. They don't join companies and they don't join offers. The reason they end up on your page, just like the reason you guys ended up on SatoriPrime's page, or the reason you're even here on this hangout with us, is because people want your perspective. Ask yourself, why are you here listening to 2 guys talk about Facebook marketing today? Because you saw some content of ours, you saw some video that we put together, you saw something training that we put together, and you're like, you know what, these guys have an interesting perspective on what it is to do on Facebook. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Type in, like, you know, why did you end up here? I guarantee you it's some version of that. Now, are we rough around the edges? Yes. Do we curse? Yes. Are we for everyone? Fuck no. We're not. We're not trying to be for everyone. We do what we do. And we have our own very unique perspective on Facebook marketing and how to run an online business. Is it the right way? Who knows? We make a ton of money. Our students make a ton of money. It obviously works. Are there other ways that are just as right? Abso-freaking-lutely. You're here because you enjoy our perspective. You enjoy the way that we interact with you. Now, if we were trying to be Jonathan Budd or Mark Hoverson or any of the other gurus out there, you would see right through that. It would occur to you like bullshit. And we have this extra like sixth sense thing as humans, and I use this example all the time, and you all have been through this process, where you're at some store, it could be that you're buying a car or a vacuum cleaner or a suit or whatever it is, and the person standing in front of you is saying all the right things. Like, all the words they're saying make sense. And somehow deep down inside you're like, this guy is a bullshit artist and I will never buy anything from him. And he could be perfectly knowledgeable and give you all the right information, but deep down inside you're like, I don't believe this person and I'm never going to do business with him. It's because we have this sense of, is someone's intention genuine? Is someone's, trying to pull something over on me? All of that kind of stuff comes into play, and I guarantee you, if you're trying to be something that you are not, people will see through that shit, and they will not want to be around you. But here's the beautiful side of that coin is, you can be exactly who you freaking are and not have to make any excuses for it, and just know that through the law of attraction, the people that are right for you to work with will naturally resonate with you. They'll resonate with you in a way that they don't resonate with Guy and I.
And by the way,
you can literally teach the same freaking Facebook strategy to them, and they will buy it from you versus from us because they like the way you do it.
Yep. By the
Sorry,
way,
you want to say
guys.
something?
Yeah, I do. And somebody wrote, like, I can see this is for IM, but not MLM. I don't want to disagree with anybody. I just don't think that's true. I think what we're talking here is just universal laws. This is just entrepreneurship, right? Now, if you get into IM, you really you're not even going to be there for like our bodybuilding page. They don't know it's SatoriPrime. We're just pushing traffic towards bodybuilding offers. So you can pick how you want to point that laser. I think Ilan's talking specifically about being an entrepreneur. Especially if you're in a business opportunity or running your own business, people are really, really genuinely buying you. But I thought it was interesting. Why? For some reason, when you said law of attraction, it occurred to me it's called a law. It's not a theory of attraction. It's like the law of gravity, right? That's a law, meaning it's guided throughout the universe, and everything is I don't know what you believe in, but it's generated through energy, and energy attracts or repels different things depending on positive or negativity. So it's interesting that we use those words. Positive energy brings people in, negative energy pushes people away, right? So just think about that. This is a law, and that's why we teach all our guys, if there's forget the money and all that great other stuff that comes along with it, the best thing our students get is permission to be themselves. I don't even think there's anything that I hold more dear to my heart when I see somebody just letting it loose and just finally being themselves, and then you see that their results go from here to here to here to here and just keep exploding up. Because of that instant shift is what changes everything in your business. So for those of you who are asking, biz op type questions, can I market my business? Of course you can market your business. How do you create fanaticism? That's how you create fanaticism. All right, I'm just answering quick questions that people are asking. That's how you do it, guys. They don't get fanatic about some people are fanatic about businesses. We can get examples. But what they're fanatic really about is they'll usually get fanatic about the core of that company, the leaders in that company, right? Like people got fanatic about Apple because Steve Jobs is was, I should say, it was just a presence. People wanted to be around Steve. Now he's died, unfortunately, and you see what's happening internally in that company. It's not the same company. Immediately you could tell there's a shift. So that's the whole point, is they're really following you, and that's where fanaticism comes from, especially around companies. Go ahead, man.
I just want to say to the person who asked about, this works for IM but not MLM, I completely disagree with that. 100% disagree with that. If you were to go and look at every single person who's successful in MLM, and we know a lot of them, we know some of the top trainers. I mean, we've worked with Eric Worre, we worked with Tad Falcone, we work with the top guys training at these companies. And I guarantee you they are not out there telling you to join their company. Not a single one of them.
I don't even know what company Eric's with.
They all have legions of followers because they add value to a person's life. They engage with their fans. They deliver goodwill and value. And when they deliver goodwill and value, those people will naturally follow them to the ends of the earth, no matter if they were selling Tupperware or bikinis or juices or anything in between.
Yeah.
And I guarantee every single person that is struggling with working their MLM company and getting leads and all that stuff is because the only thing you focus on, I assert, is promoting your compensation plan and how great your company products are. Because 97, 98% of people that I see, that's how they start. Because you don't know how to do it any better.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that's not going to produce you long-term results. So you either got to look at your strategy, and if it's not producing the results you want, then guess what? It's time for new strategies.
Absolutely.
Okay? All right, I want to go through the last one here. And the last one is you don't start with the end in mind. Now, what do we mean by that? One of the things that we see people do most often, and maybe people that were just talking about MLM right now, this will really resonate with, is that you just post stuff to say that you posted stuff. Or you just post a video of a compensation plan, or you'll just post a video that you think is interesting or something like that, but you don't actually think, you don't look at the results. Say you post something, okay, like a motivational video for whatever reason on your page, right? And it gets 2 likes. Well, you'll keep posting very similar content over and over and getting 2 likes, 5 likes, 3 likes, 2 likes, 5 likes, and be like, why isn't anyone interacting with my page? Instead of trying something. Like we had a gardening page that we were messing around with, and I got to tell you, the first 3-4 weeks of posting stuff, nothing worked. I would post tips on how to grow better vegetables. I would throw tips on how to, turn your soil, and like all these things that I thought people in gardening would be really interested. Nothing took off. I post one picture of a beautiful garden, and I don't even remember where, 500 likes. And I'm like, holy crap. They don't care about the tips. They like beauty, right? But unless I started testing different things to promote to them and market to them, like with our bodybuilding page, we got it dialed in. We know exactly what kind of content they like. We know what pictures they interact with. We know what videos. We know what articles.
And we'll show you how to do that, so you can.
I assert that for many of you who are struggling to get engagement and customers and fans. Sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, that's it. We're just on a delay. I said, and we're going to show you guys where to find that content, so you can find out much faster.
Yeah. At the end of the day, guys, if you're putting stuff up that doesn't go viral, it means you didn't start with the end in mind. You didn't start with what the intention was of putting up that content. And if you're just putting up content to check a box on your to-do list, then you're going to have just those kind of results. You really have to consider your strategies and how it is and what it is that you're doing, right? Like if we did the market research, like we showed you, and if you had the end goal in mind of, well, here's where I want to get them to this state and this is what I want to talk to them about, and then you promoted content that worked to achieve that end goal, then your results would vary wildly. Now, if you weren't achieving that result, and we're going to talk about 2-millimeter changes at the end of this, but if you aren't achieving that result, then I guarantee you a little shift in thinking, a little shift in research, a little shift in finding this viral content is going to be the thing that has you producing no results to having you producing absolute, insane, wild, beyond your imagination results. It's really that small of a shift. Bro, anything else?
Nope, I'm good. Going through the presentation.
Okay. Any questions?
I'm going to take a look. Keep going. We're kind of like answering them intermittently without answering them directly.
Okay, cool. So I want to just go into a bunch of questions that we got here, and we'll go one by one. We'll do some screen share. We'll do stuff like that, and I'm sure most stuff will be handled once we go through these. But if you still have questions, feel free and drop them in. So our issue with Facebook is keeping and growing our fan page for our business with the limited time we have. We post daily, but at some stage the numbers drastically drop and keep dropping. Bro, is there anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're posting daily, it's just what Ilan said right before. That is just not content. Whatever traffic you're sending to that page and that's growing in that page, that's just not what they're interested in. So if you keep posting the same stuff over and over again, it's the definition of insanity. Do the same thing over and over again, expect different results. You're never going to walk down the same street and see a different building at the end of it. So you need to start testing different avenues, different messaging. But what we find works the best in most situations is that you're either motivating people, polarizing them, or inspiring them in some way. So it depends on really what you want to do with the traffic, but you'd be surprised how often when you're challenging or polarizing people, the comment box goes crazy, right? Because then everyone chooses a side and now they all start arguing with each other. That might seem like, oh my God, really hectic, but it's an extremely effective traffic strategy, okay? With the page that we just showed you, and I think the video's got over 700 already, or really close to, and shares, that's just pure inspiration and motivation. You see that? For people who are bodybuilders, it's all about getting pumped up, right? Like, I want to get pumped up. I want to go to the gym. I want to get inspired to move my body. That's why those videos work really well. But then I could go put something on there and write would you do this workout? And then you have everybody jumps on one side of the fence or the other and picks a side, and now they all argue and let that comment box go nuts. So just different ways of doing it, but that's what's effective.
And just for those of you guys that know, when Facebook came out with EdgeRank, that's when everyone was kind of like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I lost all engagement on my page, all that kind of stuff. So here's what you want to write down. There's 3 levels of engagement that EdgeRank goes, and I'm going to go from least effective to most effective. Likes are the least effective. So likes on a post will give you the least amount of juice. Comments are number 2. They will give you slightly more than likes. They're good. The best ones are shares. The higher you can get your share count, the more that tells Facebook that this is really good content that people are really engaging with. And that is what gives you the highest amount of juice. So you have to stop posting what you want to post and think from a standpoint of what do I post that my audience wants to see. And when you get what your audience wants to see, that's when your page will absolutely explode. Okay? So that answers that question. Next question. I'm like, these are 3 comments, but I took like snippets of each person so you kind of get the idea. I'm sure you guys can find yourself in one of these things. I'm like most people and live on a shoestring budget. Or someone will say, I have trouble scaring up 2 nickels to rub together. Or I paid for Facebook ads and I find them to be very expensive. Now, obviously, there's a very common theme here, which is, you know, I don't have money or Facebook advertising is expensive. To that, I just want to say, did you see what we just showed you with the viral effect? 98% of our traffic right now on that page is complete organic. We don't pay a penny for that traffic. Now, I'm not saying that we didn't do a lot of work to get that page to that level, but I want you to know that it's less than guide. That page has been up for what, 4 months, 5 months?
I think closing on 6 months now. 6 or 7 months, something like that, actually.
6 months, okay. So if I said for you, you're going to do work for 6 months, and at the end of those 6 months, you're going to be able to create 50, 60, 70 leads free per day, is that work that you'd be willing to do? If you're saying no, just get off this freaking webinar right now. you don't belong here.
Yeah.
All right? Now, your job with any market is to obviously test and tweak. You have to test and tweak and find out what offers and what stuff goes viral. But once you find that out, it's like you'll tap at different places on the wall, okay? Eventually, you're going to find a soft spot, and you're going to open that soft spot, and water is going to start trickling out. But then that water hole will just keep growing and growing on its own. You won't even be able to stop it if you want. Like we showed you that health page. We haven't posted there in 3 months, and people are still contacting us nonstop every single day.
Yeah.
Now, we just don't do anything with it because, you know, we did it all as a test because we don't really care. But I just want you to understand, like, when you put this into play, you won't be able to stop it even if you wanted to. That's how much it rolls like a snowball effect.
I also want to create a little bit of a paradigm shift in what's happening in the world today. So we've been taught for a really long time, grow your list, you know, do all that. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, guys, but think about where people spend most of their time. We do a lot of research on this. This is why we've stayed on Facebook as long as we have. That number is exponentially growing over the last 3 years. People are literally spending almost 8 hours per week, Ilan, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Per week on Facebook. There's nothing online, not even Google, nothing that even comes close, because think about how much time you actually spend on Google. You search, you click, so it's like kind of like on and off. So you might be on that website a lot, but it's not where you're spending a majority of your time. It's also not in people's inboxes anymore. So people have this thing like, I'm building my list. So every opt-in for them is one list. What they're not realizing is on Facebook, you're also building a list. That page you guys saw of 200,000 demographic-specific people is now a keyword that I can use in my back office. If there's any product launch, if there's anything in bodybuilding that I want to get behind, I get to create an ad specific to my page, and I can send those people now back to that offer. Now, this is not a page that people clicked on 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Maybe they're not even interested anymore. I know exactly who's on that page, what demographic, where they're from, what's the age group. All I have to do now is go find a business opportunity, or if you know, for some of you guys' cases, or an affiliate program that matches that demographic, put up an ad, and start monetizing like crazy. And nobody else can market to that keyword except for me. I own it. So much power. So when you're growing Facebook pages, I want you to think of every like an opt-in. It's just another person raising their hand. And how many of you actually ever go back to a page and unlike it? A very small percentage. I would say even lower than unsubscribe rates on emails. That, and I'm not intruding on people, right? It's just in their newsfeed. They're not getting an email from me and getting pissed off that there's too many emails. It's a totally different way. So you got to start thinking, where the hell are my people? How do I bring them into a community? How do I communicate to them in a way they want to be communicated to? How do I help them do more of what they're already doing? You don't have to shift people's mindset. You just have to be part of the path, okay?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, a lot of us, and that's why I think discovery marketing is so powerful, but a lot of us, we try to do this interruption marketing where you're trying to convince someone to do something that they're already doing the opposite of. Like, in a network marketing company, for example, you'll tell people, hey, join my company. And they're like, well, I'm working. Like, my day's busy. I don't have time for this crap. And you're trying to convince them that this is something that they want. Well, why are you spending any energy convincing people that have no interest in doing that thing anyway? Wouldn't you much rather have a community of people that are up to, transforming their finances, moving into a new economy, stuff like that, and having conversations with them where they're at versus trying to convince people that are just heels dug in and not interested? Like, it's a much, much different world.
Yep.
All right, next question. Biggest struggle with Facebook advertising for us is getting ad after ad disapproved. How many of you guys have struggled with this, right? Just let me know. They do not like any words that associate an ad with any work from home or boost your income promises. We try time and time again to tweak our ads, but have them rejected most times. Every day is an arm wrestling competition with them. Okay, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. We have to play. It doesn't matter who you are, just like there's 24 hours in a day, and even if you have, I don't have enough time, we all have the same amount of time. If you're going to market on Facebook, we all play by Facebook's rules. Facebook can change the rules whenever the heck they want, and they do change the rules whenever the heck they want. You're either going to play the game by design, or you're going to try to play your game inside of rules that are going to make you very, very upset. What we see most often, and this like from high-level consulting clients, they'll be like, we've done this, this, and this. And they'll be like, okay, great, what else have you tried? Nothing, I keep trying this, this, and this. Well, like Guy said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You can't keep putting stuff together and be like, make money from home, make money working from home, and expect Facebook to all of a sudden be like, oh, you know what? This one looks okay. They've told you they don't like that stuff, but you keep doing it anyway, and you hope, or you're frustrated by the fact that it's not happening for you. Now look, you have to change your modality. If your end game is X, right, you can lead people to X. Can you see that there's like 6 different ways that you can do this? You can accomplish the same thing. You know that old saying, all roads lead to Rome? Well, if the one way that you've been trying over and over and it produces that result doesn't work, well, guess what? You got to try a new method. You got to try a new road. So one of the things that we just showed you is a way we get around it, if we get frustrated and have to deal with things like that, is we don't even put up ads. We have these unbelievable viral content that does all of that stuff for us. We never have to go through an approval process. But if you do want to create ads, there's smart ways, and when you play by the rules, there's still ways to get around it. For example, if someone's looking for, you want to try to promote a business opportunity, well, maybe what you do instead is promote education, promote training. Facebook loves that kind of stuff. Do a free webinar series. Do a free training series. Invite people to a free 30-minute consultation with you. All of that stuff is completely coming at the same end result, but from a completely different way. And if you try those, I guarantee you'll have much, much better success with getting those types of ads approved. Guy, you want to add anything?
Absolutely. I mean, guys, when have you ever gone on Facebook with the idea of, oh, I can't wait to find a business opportunity while I'm here? It's just not the mindset. That's not what people are there for. They're there to be in community. They're there to be part of tribes. They're there to interact with like-minded people. If I see a home business opportunity ad, I seriously click on it just to shake my head or to see where that traffic is going because I'm curious what's in the marketplace right now. Nothing else. Sometimes I'll opt in just to be like, all right, interesting video or interesting thing, but that's not my mind state when I'm on Facebook. Nobody is looking for a biz op on Facebook. You have to do some really hard convincing. I mean, you might get conversions. I'm not saying you won't, but they're not going to be high. It's really different than being on Google and someone typing in, I'm looking for an online business opportunity, or doing searches like that. That's not how people use Facebook. You can't use Facebook that way. But if you invite them, like Ilan said, to a webinar or some kind of training, or I can help you with your business, and that's, if you're in Herbalife or you want to market to, I don't know, what's a competitive product like Visalis, and you say, I can show you how to grow your Visalis business through marketing strategies, those people are going to sign up in hordes, and then they're going to just want to be around you, and they're going to be like, damn, he's in Herbalife and he's getting results, or she's getting results. They're probably going to jump ship and join your company. And by the way, that's a really good tip, is most people don't market to their competition, right? So like Herbalife and Visalis are both in like health and fitness, I believe, right? It's all about like healthy foods and stuff.
Yep.
Market to your competition. You don't need to create them. You don't need to create the markets. The markets and the niches are already created for you. There's 1.2 billion people on Facebook right now. Your job is not to create a new market. It's to siphon the traffic. And that's what we're doing with our pages is we're just redistributing, moving the traffic from one place to another, but now we get to control that traffic. Okay, and that's what we do.
Yeah, and I will also say specifically to those in network marketing, the success rate of network marketers, just so you understand, is 3%, maybe even less. So 97%, let's just use those numbers, 97% of people that join companies will never make $1. Or will make like $100 at most. Now, could you imagine, and I'm sure you've been there, that there's some pretty frustrated and pissed off people in the network marketing world who haven't gotten results and have now been through 6 different companies? Right? Now, if you market to people that liked Herbalife, for example, and you're in Visalis or vice versa, you can imagine that 97% of the people that like that page are not successful. And if you offer them some sort of thing that can help them in their business, not convert to yours, but help them in their business, could you see how that would make a huge impact? Have you ever recommended a movie to someone and then they keep coming back to you, or a book or a restaurant, and they'll keep coming back to you and be like, what else you got? Because they had a good experience? You can become that person. That's how you become a mini celebrity online. By providing people with interesting, helpful value. Not by throwing opportunities down their throats.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, next question. Our issue with Facebook is keeping and nope, I think we went back. Sorry. My CTRs aren't too, that should say bad, not back. My CTRs aren't too bad, but my conversion to sales are terrible. What am I doing wrong? Guy, you want to take it?
Yeah, it's real simple. You're just marketing to the wrong people. And again, that's what we were talking about earlier with like the ego effect. Like you see the leads, you see good CTR, so you feel good about what you're doing, and that's fine. I honor you for getting results. Most people can't even get good CTRs. But if you're not seeing conversions, it's because you're going after too broad of an audience, or there's not a congruency in your message, meaning that they're reading an ad, they're coming to a landing page, and what they're seeing as the pitch or the sales opportunity or the opportunity to join your business is not congruent to what they thought they were coming to. And congruency is a major factor. So here's just a little thing, guys. We've been talking about having the end in mind, right, when you're doing anything. You want to make sure, man, I lost my thought again. No, I was going to say that basically, like, a lot of people come into this world and they come from the workplace, right, the 9-to-5ers. And because of that, you're addicted to and you've been trained to just do busy work. Like run around with your phone and papers in your hands so like the boss doesn't get angry at you. You need to make it look like you're busy even when you're not. And people come into this industry and unfortunately that mindset carries forward. And somebody tells them you need to make 5 articles a week, you need to do 5 posts a day, and this goes for anything that you do. And they do a lot of this busy work. They do all these articles that have no intention because they're not thinking about what's this traffic going to do, who is seeing this, what are the action they're going to take at the end of it. They don't put any thought into that, and then they go to bed and they go, oh, I feel good, I did 5 articles today, or I made 2 videos today. And then they get really disgruntled because they don't see traction in their business. But this is why they're not seeing traction, guys, is because they never thought about what the hell they're putting up online. They just did it to do it. And in the beginning, when you first get in, maybe that's good because you're training yourself to be in action, which is widely important in this industry. But at some point in time, you got to stop and think and be like, what is this actually doing for my business? What are these people? What's the emotion they're going to have when they're done with here? How do I position it so that they look at the opportunity, so they click on this link that I have for them? And do I have a clear call to action that everybody is going through? I'm telling you, that's what's missing. If you have that, either the traffic sucks or the messaging on the congruency side is bad.
Yeah. So again, just to kind of recap, congruency is not there 100%, meaning it might be a clever ad that gets people to click, but then the actual offer or the messaging on the offer is not right for that demographic, but you got a bunch of people to click because the ad was really good.
Yep.
And the other thing is what we spoke about before, you may have caught people early on in the buying process, like remember the distinction between laptop and then Apple MacBook Pro 15-inch, whatever. And if you got people in the early part of that buying cycle, then they might just be info seekers, and they're not the people that are actually action takers. And so instead of focusing on getting a ton of quantity traffic, if you actually spent a little bit more, like people always come to us, they're like, how do we get the cheapest leads? I'm like, you can get cheap leads, they're just not going to convert to anything. So then you're throwing money down the toilet. I'd rather pay $4, $5, $8 a lead, but have that $8 convert into $300, right? That's where you got to start changing your mind from. And I know sometimes like you're going to have to really push yourself because it's going to be scary. When you see like, oh, I'm paying much more for the lead, you always got to give it that little bit of time to see if that lead is really converting. Now, you might be spending that much and it's still not convert, which, then you got to really look at your marketing. But chances are, if you're really honing in and you're doing your market research and you're doing the Alexa and Quantcast and all that stuff that we're showing you, and you're going after these unique keywords and you're making your offers congruent, I guarantee you, even if you get 10 leads instead of 50 leads a day, those 10 leads will outperform your 50 leads any given day. Any given day. All right. Hey, I just got started with a new company, and I'm posting every day, but I can't find anyone interested. I kind of feel like this would be beating up a dead horse at this point.
Same topic, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much driven this home as much as we can, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But again, just to wrap up, people join people, not companies, and you just want to look at what it is that you're posting. And if you're posting things or not engaging people, my assertion is, again, that you're just promoting your company, not actually giving people value. All right. I'm totally lost on how to build my MLM business. How in the world do you bring people in who are interested in my business?
I think we pretty much answered that.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we answered it. But again, focus, great content. Give them your perspective. Focus on how you're going to make a difference in their lives, and not just throw things down their throat. All right, and I think this is the last question. I've already watched all your videos. They're very informative. I'm just wondering where to start. Am I actually going to make a Facebook page, or will I like a certain niche, perhaps? What niches work best? So I just put this question in there because we actually got a bunch of these, and the next step for you, if this is where you're at right now, is to obviously, if this is the kind of question you're asking yourself, then Facebook Niche Profits formula is probably a really good option for you. But before we talk about the product, I just want to give you a quick analogy, and just for this weekend, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I don't know how many of you out there are golfers, but I'm sure you can relate to this story. Anyway, if you're golfing, right, and you swing, the difference between you hitting a ball straight 200 yards or 300 yards or whatever the heck it is, right and 200 yards, 200 yards and all the way off to the right, or left and 200 yards all the way into the trees, the difference between that is the club face, when it hits the ball, has to hit the ball flush, perfectly straight. 2 millimeters to the left or 2 millimeters to the right, by the time you accentuate that process 200 yards from you, the ball has shot off in completely different directions. All the while, the shift has only been 2 millimeters. Now, why is that important in what we're doing here tonight? Because if 2 millimeters is the only thing you need to change, and for most of you, some of you are just starting out on Facebook, so for you, I would recommend starting out with an education that you can experience, not just soak in as information, so that you can have that experience and take with you wherever you go and whatever you do for the rest of your life, and then you'll know that that thing is something that you got handled. You can go work on other stuff, right? For those of you who have tried Facebook and you've hit struggles, my assertion is that a 2 mm shift in the way you market and the way you approach Facebook is really all you need. And that's what is really being offered in Facebook Niche Profits Formula. As Guy said, we've spent tens of thousands of dollars just on seeing what other people teach with Facebook. We're always trying to learn and figure out what the next and best cutting edge stuff is out there. And I will tell you that most of them give you about 99% of what you need to learn. The problem is that that one last percent, that 2 mm shift, is the difference between succeeding and not succeeding on Facebook. And I say that because you can learn all the basic technical stuff on how to grow your page and how to place an ad and all that stuff, but if you don't understand the theory and strategy behind why you do all that stuff, then when things change on Facebook, you die. Because all you know is to hit the gas pedal, right? But if I'm showing you how to shift gears and why you shift gears and how to approach a turn and all that kind of stuff in a car, you're going to be much more adept as no matter what the road conditions are, wherever you're driving, you're going to figure out how to handle that situation. Well, this is what we're offering to you with Facebook Niche Profits, is to know the whole process inside and out from a very high level strategy to the intricacies on how to actually monetize all those likes and monetize all the works and efforts that you may or may not have done already so that you can get the results. Okay?
I think the funny part, bro, if I may, I think the funny part is that it really is simple. It really is simple, guys. It's just that it takes a lot of experience to even understand the simplicity. And it's like anything else. For those of you guys who have been in personal development, you know the biggest aha moments that you have. It's like the simplest things. You've known that truth for a long time. It's the same thing with marketing. It's not an easy process to go through to make it simple. But one of the keys that we've always found with us is we're just teachers. And I think it comes from our coaching backgrounds. We're very good at teachers, and the feedback we often get is, you teach better than anybody. So we want to teach you how to be nipping on our heels, because honestly it does two things. Number one, I know it supports you in your business and what you're doing. Notice how we're not giving you a business opportunity. We want to just help you with what you're already doing. Number two, because we create competition for ourselves, and notice that we've limited this product to 500 people, because heck, if this thing got out to thousands of people, we'd have to come up with something completely new. But it pushes us to push our marketing. And we like that. I like painting myself into a corner. It brings out my creative juices. So we kind of, the synergy of relationship helps each other. Go ahead, bro.
Awesome. Really well said. So Facebook Niche Profits Formula, if you want to grab it, we're doing a special for you guys that are on this live hangout with us. You have to use this specific link, though. This is the only way that we're going to be able to track whether you get the bonuses I'm about to tell you. But it's www.fbnicheprofits.com/24-hour. The reason it's 24-hour because this will end in 24 hours, this special bonus. And in fact, Guy, we've decided that we're going to close the cart on the program in its entirety in 24 hours, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So this program is going off the market. We probably have, I don't know how many spots left, but I don't think we've hit 500 just yet. So this is literally like the last 24 hours that this is going to be open. So if you want to take your Facebook expertise to whole new levels, this is where you need to go, fbnicheprofits.com/24-hour. Now, the product price is $241. We do have financing options available back there where we break it up into 3 payments for you. We take a small financing charge for that. So it's either $241 or 3 payments of $97, right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Now, as with every single one of our products, I want to let you know it comes with a 30-day ironclad money-back guarantee. So this is our game. This is the game that Guy and I play. If you are literally not jumping out of your skin with happiness from our product, I mean, you honestly don't believe it's the best Facebook strategy, the best training, it's broken down the easiest way, you can produce amazing results with it. Unless you're in that space, I don't want you to keep the product. I want you to ask us back for the money. Don't even, the only people, like I said, we're looking for people to work and grow with, and we know that if people love this thing, they will produce results. If you're just like, it's okay, blah, 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 ask for the money back, okay? Now, in addition to that, we've done something very interesting on here because we've tested this with a beta group before, and this is where we've tested it with an 8-year-old, and we've tested it with someone who was 81 years old, and every single person within 90 days was able to produce results, like killer results. So what we've done is we put our money where our mouth is, and we're actually, for the first time, I don't know that anyone else in the industry does this, we're doing a 90-day money-back results guarantee. So here's what that means. If you follow the strategy every day for 90 days, if you don't make back at least your investment in the product, so say the $241, if you don't at least make $241 in 90 days, we will refund you every single penny you spent. Now, the only reason we know we can make this kind of guarantee is because this formula freaking works. It's a guarantee. It just works. You do the work, you set up these pages, you put up the offers, I guarantee that it'll work. It's just that freaking good. Okay? Now, I said we're going to run a special bonus for 24 hours. So with the purchase, if you purchase off of that link, here's what we're going to give you. Once you figure out that these offers work really, really well, like you're going to find one or two that just absolutely kill it for you in whatever niche you're in, the best way to actually accentuate that profit is to take it off of Facebook and bring it into a different medium. And the best mediums are solo ads. And if you don't know what solo ads are, it's basically renting a email list from someone in a specific niche and offering them this XYZ offer. So if you know, for example, like in health and fitness, we found 2 offers that were killing it for us. So we went and sought out lists, and we're going to show you how to get rent lists for as cheap as $25. You go and you rent these lists. You promote that offer to these lists, and because you've tested them and you know that they work, you know that for that $25 you're getting, $200, $300, $400 in return, and that's something you can do literally every single week, week in, week out, to keep having sales on autopilot in all these different niches. So that's one. You're going to get our solo ads blueprint, where we're going to show you how to do that. The second one is YouTube blueprint, and this one's really interesting because aside from the fact that you can use this to promote these offers that you find really work, this is a strategy that you can get ranked anything you want on the front page of Google within a matter of days, not months, not weeks, within a matter of days. And it's a very, very simple strategy that once you implement, you will be able to rank videos in whatever the heck you want, whether it's for your MLM, whether it's for your product, whether it's for this niche offer, something, you'll be able to do it. Okay? So those are the 2 technical ones. The third, and I just love this freaking picture of this kid, it's called Personal Power. It's a product that we've never released to the public. We've only sold... I think we've only sold this to one person ever. We charge them $597. But this is a product that we built for people in our apprentice program that pay us between $5,000 to $25,000. Before we start coaching anyone, this is our mastermind, our mindset training. It's a 10-module mindset training. Before we start training anyone, we make sure they go through this, because people ultimately, when they hire us, have limitations. Limitations in their beliefs, limitations around money, limitations around being overwhelmed, limitations around procrastinating, life, relationship, anything you can imagine you have limitations on, whether you want to believe it or not. Guy and I have limitations. We work on them all the time, hence the reason we went to a Tony Robbins thing. This is 12 years of personal development coaching wrapped up into one product. People who have paid us $25,000 for technical coaching have told us that they would have paid us 10 times that just for this product alone.
We actually had a guy on in the last webinar who was one of our, what we call our platinum apprentices, and he said that he got, I think he even said more value. I mean, not more, but he would have paid 25 grand just for this product. That's how big of a difference it made for him.
This was a man that was going to be divorced and actually is now the happiest man he's ever been. Now, you have to understand, Guy and I come from this background, so for us it's truly important that your whole life works, not just like Facebook marketing. I know people struggle with money, so we create products around helping people with money so they can get out their own head, like pull their head out of their ass, and actually start living the life of their dreams. This product is everything we've ever wanted to tell someone and take them through a process where at the end of that 10-module series, you will feel lighter, healthier, more productive, more in love, better suited to take on your business, more of a leader. Like, all these things are packed into that. It's honestly the product I'm most proud of that we've ever created. It's just amazing. And you will get it only if you purchase through that link, and only for the next 24 hours only. So make sure you go and grab it off of fbnicheprofits.com/24-hour. Make sure you write that down. And again, it's just $241 or 3 payments of $97, and you get all of that. You get the product, you get the 3 bonuses along with that. Now, if for whatever reason you get stuck in the checkout process, you purchase the product, you get stuck somewhere, you don't like something, we're also inviting you. Part of the product is 4 weeks of live training with Guy and I. So once you get the product, we're going to probably start in the beginning of December. You'll get notified. But we're going to do every 2 weeks, we're going to do a live hot seat session with you guys that become our Facebook niche Facebook niche formula students. And we will actually, you're going to show us what you've been up to, whether producing results or not the results you want, or you're getting stuck, whatever. We will work with you one-on-one to make sure that you succeed. That's how important it is to us. But if for whatever reason you get stuck, you don't like it, you want to write this email down, support@SatoriPrime.com, and we promise you a response within 24 hours. Usually you'll get one within an hour or two. Our team is just that good, and that's how we trained them. Because that's the way, at the end of the day, that's the way I like to be interacted with. If I send a report to, some sort of ticket to a company, I want a response. And I'm just going to say this to you guys as a side note. If you buy any product, online, offline, whatever, whether you like it or not, here's my recommendation. Within the first 3 days of you owning that product, send some sort of ticket. Ask some sort of question. If you don't get a response from them in a day or two, return the product. I don't care how much you love it. And I'll tell you why. Because eventually, you're going to get to a point where you don't like something, or you have a question. And if they're not going to respond to you in the first few days that you bought the product, you can sure as hell guarantee that 3 months down the line, you're going to get even less of a response. Okay? So if someone's not responding to you, return the freaking product.
Yep.
Period. It's a lesson we've learned time and time again. We've been swindled out of thousands of dollars. Thank God for credit card companies that actually help you, but thousands. So anytime you have a question, support@SatoriPrime.com. Within 24 hours, you will guaranteed get a response from us.
Yep. Really quick question here. Someone asked if I pay 3 payments, are they monthly payments? Yeah, guys, these are 3 payments. I'll just take you to the checkout page real quick so you see what it looks like.
Hold on. I got to stop screen sharing.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're not going to see anything.
All right. So this is the checkout page right here. So you see,
yeah, there you go.
$241 single payment for those of you that do want the 3 payment options right here. And when you check that little radio dial, you'll actually see your payment schedule and then the $50 financing charge that we take to provide that for you. So yeah, these payments will be broken down into 30-day increments. So if you buy today, next payment won't be till December 12th, and then another payment about a week and a half after the new year. So that's how we have that set up. All you have to do is come down here, fill in, pick your creditor, put your credit card number in, same old, place your order, and then immediately you'll be taken to the registration page for this product.
Now, I just want to say one more thing, and Guy, maybe we give them the link to do that, because a lot of people have already done this, and then this is just a great way. I mean, you could literally have this product paid for in a matter of days. So we have an affiliate program, and people, as soon as they buy the product because they love it, they join our affiliate program, and then they share it with their friends. So, for example, if you're in a network marketing company and you have a downline, and you know that everyone, look, 99% of people that are on Facebook are struggling to figure out how to make Facebook work. It's just a fact. Okay? So if you know that, and you're like, hey, I was on this great training, I learned something really cool, and you share it with them, we have a way that you can actually make money from that share. So when they buy the product, we will send you guys, what is it, 40%?
We do 40%, so you can make about $150 per customer.
Per customer, right? You sell 2 of these, you recommend it to 2 people, you got yours for free.
Yep.
period.
It's on the welcome page, actually. When they register, I offer the affiliate program.
Yeah. All right. So with that, bro, do you want to just drop the link? Is there somewhere we can message them, or do you want me to just put it on my screen?
Put it back on the screen. We'll keep it up for a minute. If you guys have any additional questions, we can hang out for a few more minutes and get those answered. Otherwise, for those of you that know you want this program, please go ahead and get to the shopping cart. You'll immediately be taken to the welcome page. Like Ilan said, you'll have those 4 weeks of training, the 2 bonuses, the personal power course, and you'll become part of our private mastermind, which is what he didn't mention. So you'll always have support, not just from us, but from our ever-expanding, growing community of people, and you'll see that the quality of people that we attract is extremely high, and I promise you, when you're in that type of community, your results basically escalate substantially from where you're at. And I'm sure if you look through your life, anytime you've been part of a community of like-minded people, that's helped you tremendously in life, especially when you have coaches.
Bro, real quick,
yep.
Tell me it's fbnicheprofits.com affiliate?
No, don't put that up there.
Okay.
That's part of the welcome page.
Okay, perfect. All right, any questions?
I'm going to reload right now and see if we have any questions. Nope, so far no questions. Looks like we did a good job. All right, guys, so for those of you that just purchased, welcome to the club, welcome to the family. We'll say hi to you when you get into the Facebook group. For those of you that spent time with us today, we really appreciate it. I think we went over a little bit from what we wanted to initially do, but I think we hopefully gave you guys a lot of valuable content here that whether or not you join us is going to help you out in your business. And if you have any further questions, please email us at support@SatoriPrime.com, and we'll get back to each and every one of you. And if you have any checkout problems, let us know, and we'll support you with that as well. All right, guys, have a fantastic day.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for coming and hanging out with us.
Take it easy.